I remember years ago I was in Budapest with some friends, and they were all atheists. On the other side of the table, a physicist, a member of parliament, and all. They came to ask their questions, and it was my colleague and myself. And just before the evening came to an end, I mean, it was a heavy evening. I was worn out. I said, why do I fly all over the world to answer questions like these? And I'd gone through the whole thing, and my buddy just nudged me and said, ask them if you can pray for them. So I said, my colleague here has asked me if I can pray for you. I didn't want them to think there was anything secretive going on, and he was right. I said, do you men and women mind? It was a beautiful place. I think the film Evita was filmed in that place and so on, chandeliers and all. I said, do you mind if I pray for you all and your nation going through what it is? Of course, they get too embarrassed to say no. So we bowed and prayed, and the Lord just prompted what to pray for the man in Congress, for the physicist dealing with the material world, that he would see the mystery of God's design and all these fabulous laws that we discover that we didn't create. They're already there, created by you, and so on. When we finished, we bid them good night. It was late, 10:30 p.m., and I was to drive an hour and a half to speak there the next day. All of them showed up. They weren't even invited. They all came for the meeting. It was a closed set of meetings. And one of the men came up to me and said, I never went back to my hotel room last night. He said, I've never heard anybody talking to God with such comfort before. You prayed like you really know who you were talking to. Wow. He said, I was walking the streets and I paused and said, God, I don't know you, but I want to know you, and I want to be able to unburden my heart to you and know that you're listening. He gave his life to Christ on the streets of Budapest that night. I think if a person's son or grandson is going through a crisis and he's got to leave office, say before you go, let me just pray for your little guy. And you put your hand on their shoulder and pray. They're puzzled that you sense this access and God brings the peace. Praying for them at the right moment may be much better than even giving them a little sermonette at a time like that. That would be my suggestion.